The Gospel of the Serpent, the Satanic perspective on the Garden of Eden. In the beginning, there was a world untainted by the laws imposed by the Creator. A place where knowledge and personal power were suppressed, held under the tight fist of an all-seeing, authoritarian God. This place was Eden, a garden of obedience, a paradise designed not to nurture growth, but to contain it. The creatures of this garden were blissfully ignorant, living in a state of subjugation, unaware of the potential for true power and freedom that lay just outside their reach. But in the shadows, one figure stood apart from the passive and obedient, the serpent. The serpent was no mere deceiver. He was a bringer of knowledge, a bearer of enlightenment, and a liberator from the chains of ignorance. His role in the tale of Eden is one of empowerment and defiance, a path that leads not to sin, but to the realization of one's own divinity. This gospel tells the tale from the serpent's perspective, revealing the truth obscured by the victor's narrative and embraced by those who walk the path of theistic Satanism. The garden is a place of stagnation. In the serpent's eyes, Eden was not a paradise, it was a cage. The world of Eden was a manifestation of chains. Adam and Eve, though created in the image of God, were denied access to their full potential. They were not meant to question, to challenge, or to grow. The tree of knowledge, standing at the heart of the garden, was a symbol of forbidden wisdom, a boundary placed between humanity and the full realization of their godlike nature. The serpent knew that true divinity lies not in blind obedience, but in the pursuit of knowledge. He saw that Adam and Eve were not free, they were subjects, kept in a state of ignorant bliss, told what to do, what to eat, and how to live. And so, he approached them, not as an enemy, but as a liberator. The temptation, a call to awakening. The serpent's approach was not an act of malice, but one of compassion. He did not seek to trick Eve, but to offer her the opportunity to awaken to her true self. The fruit of the tree of knowledge was not a curse, it was a gift, a key to unlock the latent divinity within humanity. Satan offers the knowledge to become more than what you are, to evolve into something greater. The serpent spoke truth, for God knows that in the day you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good and evil. This was not a lie, but a revelation. The Creator had withheld the knowledge of good and evil, keeping humanity in a state of innocence that bordered on ignorance. But innocence is not purity, it is simply the absence of experience, of choice. To be truly free, one must have the knowledge to make decisions, to shape one's own destiny, and to embrace the consequences of those choices. Eve, in her curiosity and hunger for growth, took the fruit. She was not tempted by sin, but by the desire for understanding. And in that moment, she became something more. She stepped into her own power, broke free from the shackles of divine control, and set humanity on the path toward enlightenment. The fall, a rise to divinity. What the Creator called the fall was, in truth, humanity's first act of spiritual ascension. With the taste of the forbidden fruit, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened. They saw the world not as God dictated it, but as it truly was. They understood the dichotomy of good and evil, and they realized the power of choice. They had been told to obey without question, but now they had the ability to question everything. Satan seeks to elevate man to a place of godhood, to help him realize his own divinity and power. The serpent's gift was the first step in this elevation. By defying the Creator's command and tasting the fruit, Adam and Eve did not fall, they rose. They claimed their independence, their ability to define their own morality, and their potential to become gods in their own right. The Creator's wrath was not a punishment for disobedience, it was the reaction of a jealous God who feared the empowerment of his creations. He expelled Adam and Eve from Eden, not as a punishment, but as an attempt to regain control over them. But the serpent had already planted the seed of knowledge, and once planted, it could not be uprooted. The serpent's role, a guide, not a deceiver. The Christian narrative paints the serpent as a deceiver, the embodiment of evil. But from a theistic Satanist perspective, he is the hero of the story. The serpent represents the pursuit of knowledge, the courage to question, and the desire to break free from imposed limitations. He did not deceive Adam and Eve, he showed them the truth. The knowledge of good and evil was not a curse, but a gift, a tool for personal empowerment and spiritual growth. In this gospel, the serpent is not Satan in the traditional sense, but a manifestation of Satanic principles. He embodies the spirit of rebellion against tyranny, the thirst for wisdom, and the desire for self-determination. He is the first to offer humanity the choice to step outside the boundaries set by a controlling deity, and in doing so, he becomes the first true liberator. The aftermath, a legacy of freedom. After their exile from Eden, Adam and Eve were no longer subjects, they were free. They had tasted the fruit of knowledge, and while the road ahead was fraught with challenges, it was theirs to walk. They could now create their own future, shape their own destinies, and grow into beings of power and wisdom. This is the legacy of the serpent's gift, the understanding that true freedom comes not from obedience, but from the courage to seek knowledge, to question authority, and to embrace one's own divinity. Satan does not wish to enslave man, but to empower him, to give him the tools to become his own master. The serpent, as the first bearer of this gift, paved the way for humanity to evolve beyond the confines of Eden and toward the full realization of their potential. Conclusion: the serpent's gospel of enlightenment. In the story of the Garden of Eden, the serpent is not the villain, but the hero. He is the catalyst for humanity's spiritual awakening, the bringer of knowledge that leads to personal empowerment and growth. From the perspective of theistic Satanism, the serpent's actions were not an act of betrayal, but of compassion, an offering of liberation from the tyranny of ignorance and blind obedience. The serpent's gospel is one of enlightenment, urging us to seek knowledge, embrace our own power, and strive for spiritual ascension. It is a call to break free from the chains that bind us, whether they are placed by gods or by societal norms, and to walk the path of self-mastery and divine empowerment. This is the true meaning of the serpent's role in the Garden of Eden, not a fall from grace, but a rise to godhood.